Hey guys, Randy here with Academia Christi. It is March 23rd, Thursday, which means that it's time for the Viri Christi garden vlog of the week. So without further ado, let's check out all the indoor plants. Alright, so our cucumber and the accompanying dill, as always, as it has been at least, this dill is looking quite fine. Same as this other one here. Cucumber, I thought it was had a little bit of slow growth going there for this week, but I mean it's up to several leaves now. What is that? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 if we count this little guy here. I see 1, 2, bunch of these tendrils coming out, 4. So this one finally got one wrapped around the thing. That was after I already helped it out with another very, very loose twist tie here, just to just enough to support it like that string. But yeah, it's looking good. It's as always has been these little flowers, little cukes starting, but been pulling those for now. I mean, it's not really getting too close to time where I think I'll actually let them grow. I'd really like it to at least, I think, be as big as this stick. Still got a ways to go, but it's not looking too bad. It's still alive. But if it didn't have any problems and with all conditions being right, I think by now it should have been fruiting. Okay, so here is the garage garden. Lemongrass here, not doing a whole lot. Seems like what did come up may have mostly died off a bit. Here's a little bit of it left. Sort of struggling. Oh, that one's basically gone, I guess. And these other ones here too. Mostly all shriveling up and whatnot. Probably just a little too cold for them out here to get started. But the arugula is doing quite well. I turned the thing around recently, so now they're all trying to get back toward the window. Still 2 in here. I had a problem with one of the ones in here, but now this one being solo, it's doing quite well. Doing the best, I would imagine, out of all of them. Here's 2 as well. They're not doing great. They're doing pretty much as well as these 2 over here. And then there's 2 more here. Actually, yeah, there's 3 here. I am considering maybe, so I have 4 extra really. I could do 1 here, 2, 3, and 4 maybe. I was gonna actually have the bib lettuce growing inside. I'm gonna, I think, transplant into here. So that's the idea, and I think at least doing that, it'll give these other ones a little better chance here. Here's a little grape thing. Take a little gander at that. Those are grapes, of course. And here's that spearmint. I think I'm going to turn this. In fact, let's do this. There you go. Let's see how you like that. So you can see nice look at it from above there. Looking beautiful as ever. It doesn't mind the chilly nights and sometimes chilly day. Right now it's nice out. Kind of warm. And then of course we have all our aloe here. Feels pretty good. I'll maybe give another closer look at that next week, since it doesn't grow all that fast. That kind of new growth. It's 2 weeks old or so, that thing there. The other aloe, of course. It probably has some very tiny new growth in there. If we would get real close and look, Actually, a lot of these are probably the newest stuff that we looked at last week that were pretty small. So, not bad. It's always aloe, always looking fine. Okay, and for the main event, as it has been basically every week, kind of switched things up to give everything the best chance, I think. Give everything it to do. We have here our wild strawberries. I cleaned out all the ones that weren't working out. They haven't really sent out any new runners. I'm wondering if, not this one. This one has 4 leaves. This one's been at just those 3, but it does have this runner here, and I think maybe it had another one that I let go, or maybe that was the one. Over here's our tray of weeds. We still didn't start any lettuce. We were going to start lettuce in this one, or in the other one. I don't know where I put that, but our nice big, whatever this thing is, still growing nicely. Most of the clover's still doing well. Some of it died back because I had this out of the light for like a day or two. This, whatever this thing is, this lettucey or grassy looking thing, also had some problems, but it looks like it might be bouncing back. Here's that third mystery plant that was in here. It's going really well, actually. I think last time we saw it, it only had 1 small leaf on it, maybe 2. Back here are those other 2 random plants that have been growing for a while. That one's growing quite nicely now that it's by itself in that tiny pot. This one too isn't doing too bad here. There's a rosemary as well. Kind of running out of space, so got to utilize what we have here. Rosemary will probably be moved around a lot because right now it's just under this not super strong light. But actually, so is the cayenne. Although the cayenne also sort of has these lights to help it out a bit, almost. And I think that's why this guy is way over here now. And I think I really do need to maybe have a map, maybe just a bit. Maybe I don't. He's quite long. Maybe he'll make it through the season, my growing season, but we'll get to that. And over here, now we have all the zombie plants, which will actually need to be rotated today. I'm gonna pretty much, I think, just take these, put them on the outside, and keep switching back and forth so they get close up, further back. I don't think they would like to be this close the whole time. And then, of course, the ones back here getting a little bit of time ahead, up here, good for them. Our little bib lettuce that I said was going to be going out into the garage, that big planter, 3.7. So it's been a bit. It has this 3rd true leaf starting in there. Hopefully it won't be too much longer until I can just take this whole thing and throw it in there. You can see it actually, I don't know if this is a smart thing to do or a terrible thing to do, but I put a little bit of seed starting mix at the top of this thing to get it going. And then like right here, where my finger is there, it's potting soil from there down. And so I think then it would have caught the fertilizer, hopefully not too much, but as you can see, it looks like it's doing fine. And with everything else kind of spinning it every so often. Here's that basil. It had its true leaves fall off. I think it's still gonna grow. We'll find out. We got our 3 thyme back there. Kinda maybe get a close-up of those. Bit of a close-up. These 2 that were in the pots, the regular pots, were the ones that died back. Well, wanted to die a bit. This one seems like it might be coming back now. I was most worried about that one. This one's been doing fine. There's our cilantro. Moved these away. I think that might have been last week, just because I noticed this dill was getting pretty burnt, or it wasn't looking great. So moved them back, and now I'm kind of also rotating this cilantro, this dill, moving them back and forth between there. So it's on this side, since they hang like this, and it's on the other side. The parsley doesn't seem to mind being that close like it is, so I've sort of let that just do its thing. The other thing that was burning was this lemon balm, but it looks like it's doing okay. At least it looked like it was getting, you know, a little too much heat or light, something like that. I don't know, maybe it just is supposed to get like reddish colored like that though, orangey. But right now, looks like it's doing all right. There's where our habaneros have ended up, at least what were supposed to be habaneros. Apologies for the really terrible, I don't know what my phone is doing right now. There we go. There's the other habanero. Neither of those have come up. That's unfortunate. Here's those 3 other different random kind of peppers we planted that came in the newest packs we got that we didn't have before. This one right here is Bailey Pequin. I think it's Pequin. Not doing anything, obviously. This one was the Aleppo. It's doing good. It's doing well. It's just got its seed hat on. And this is that black Hungarian, and you can maybe see, if it wasn't for the light coming from the hydroponics unit, maybe you can tell that the leaves are a cool little dark color there. I'm assuming that all the leaves will end up like that. It is, again, the black Hungarian. And so that's everything right around the hydroponics. And the last 2 things left right now in there that are at least growing right now are those 2 poblano peppers in the back. This is the yellow Hungarian pepper. I don't know if you can see that in there or not, but I've never seen a seed with those like black specks on it in here, so I don't know if something happened to that or not, and I'm kind of gonna give it some time. Cilantro that didn't grow yet, may not grow, because cilantro seems to come up pretty quick, and since this unit only came with 6 of these things, had to improvise. So this is egg carton. I believe this is to block the light from hitting the water directly so it doesn't cause algae. You may notice on that one, I don't know how good that is, and this one too has some coloration here on the rack. There's our one struggling aloe, but look at how nice that looks now, actually, in the middle there. It's really coming along, I think. There's that old palm thing. It does have another leaf growing in there, but I'm not sure if it's still alive, to be honest. And of course, the bigger of the aloe there, you can see it's been sprouting a couple new shoots. Stay down here. There's that marjoram. We've just transplanted that marjoram out from the hydroponics. Looking quite nice, getting quite bushy now. Down here now at the bottom we have the dill, which needs cut back probably actually a little more. I can probably take both of those 2 shoots off that are hanging down there. Try to encourage. I think all the other ones now are coming out of like a different sort of, it's hard to tell, but they're all coming out sort of from the left side of the stem. So I think I can encourage them to grow sort of that direction. It might help out. These are the 2 basil, getting super leggy. Oddly enough, the seed leaves both fell off like around the same time. One of these came off 2 days ago, I think, and the other ones came off just today. So now they look even leggier, but they did have some seed leaves. I think they're doing okay. This one actually seems to be, unless it's just the type, it seems to be doing it just a bit better. And then here is our Anaheim chili, freshly transplanted yesterday actually, so it may look a little droopy. I also took off its seed leaves just because they were hanging a little bit in that dirt, but I think it's not going to have an issue. It's actually quite sturdy even for just being transplanted in there. not a whole lot of shock whenever you're just taking it out of the hydroponics and you're not really roughing up the roots at all. I had a much better time this time than I did with these guys, because I let those guys go almost probably like twice as big as this thing. If you watched the first episode, you may have seen that. And the root system was nuts. This root system was getting pretty nuts. I think I picked the perfect time to do it. It probably isn't going to have any issue taking root in there, and I think that's a pot that's just big enough. It's a 10-inch, I believe. Probably would have been better if I filled it up more, though. Actually went down quite a bit. This is a giant pot of 5 tomato. This is a giant pot of 5 potatoes that was just planted 3 days ago or so. So hopefully we'll have a bunch of potatoes soon, and then that whole thing will just be dumped out like in a wheelbarrow or something. I'll take all the potatoes out and might use all that dirt for another round of that. Right, and then there's our other basil, our scraggly basil. I've kind of given up for the moment because there's so many other things I've been working on, trying to identify which basil was which, but I think we could probably do that. You may be able to do that right now. There's the nice cilantro, now as most of these things are, in a different spot, so it's now kind of working itself back upward. But I really like how it's looking. It's also much closer to a light than it was last time, so it's gonna love that. Also, these peppers are too. Our little baby peppers. That's the smallest of them. There's our serrano. The others are cayenne. Serrano's looking pretty decent, and so is this other cayenne here. We may even start seeing, I don't know, some branching out in different directions from the main stem soon. Who knows? If we're lucky. Here's where I moved those other parsley transplants from a long time ago. I think they're gonna like this spot too. Here I kind of didn't just rearrange all of this, but I rearranged my light fixture here because it has these 4 crazy things coming off. So this light is now closer than it used to be, and now it's this direction instead of this direction. There's that basil. This was the Genovese because it was the one that had 3 come out of the hydroponics. This is that one of the 3. The one I cut very early out. This is the other one I cut later on that I then let root up in water, and it's actually been doing fantastic in this little thing here. Almost looks healthier than the other 2 down here, doesn't it? Those 2 are super leggy. This guy's just living the dream right there. There are our spearmints. The 2 last cuttings I took. Well, the last cuttings, at least that you know of. I also took one more here. But it has been struggling since I did it. So I don't know if that one's actually going to work out or not. We shall see. Trying not to spill everything, moving this one-handed just a tad to get that into the light better, I think. That one doing well. Of course, this came off the top of this. It's been starting some leaf nodes down there, or so I should say, some new shoots completely. Might even start doing that the whole way up this stem. We'll see. But it's looking nicer now, a little stockier that I cut that because it had that long top coming off of it. Sort of like some of these, which may be ready to go soon. Actually, they certainly look like they're ready to go, don't they? Have to count those soon. Yeah, spearmint. Gotta love that spearmint. Here's this is the only one of those transplants from the hydroponics that weren't going well that I have still, I think. Yeah, I got rid of the rest of them. This is the rosemary. It is still growing, so yeah, why not keep it? Here's show the tarragon first. Very much slimmed down, just 9 pieces there. But they're looking pretty good. They're not bad. And since I'm running out of room with the seed starting, I moved these guys up here. They're the oldest. 222, I believe, is when they were planted. They're not doing amazing. This, as you can see, is not seed starting mix. That's just potting soil. It's it looks gross. A lot of these have been looking, you can see in there. I don't know if that's normal or not. Not really moldy, but like there's been a lot of mushrooms. We'll say that. It's been some mushrooms. Probably waterlogged is the thing. The only thing I could think. These are the Serrano back here. The yellow Hungarian here. Hot ones, not banana peppers. And jalapenos. I'm not sure what happened here. That just one day that was like that. So I guess we're down to 3 Serrano, 3 jalapeno, and just that one yellow hot wax. Looks like it's going to be the only one that is going to come up. And then finally over here, these chives that are just doing lovely as always. I've been spinning those every now and then. Actually, I could, now that this light's different, I could kind of do more like this maybe. And then still spin it every now and then. All right, and of course our seed. All right, and then our seed starting area. Looking quite, it looks nice, doesn't it? All orderly, but definitely out of space. There's our spinach that hasn't come up yet. It's really the only thing we're waiting on here is the lavender. Mostly just the spike lavender came up. Actually, only the spike lavender so far. 3 of those of the 4. The Munstead and the Vera didn't come up. Or Vera. This is marjoram. That's the marjoram. It was like one of the first things to come up, but it doesn't have a whole lot of true leafing going on yet. I could perhaps fertilize those. I don't know if I did that or not. I may have yesterday. I should have probably kept better track of that. I did fertilize everything I thought needed it down here in the seed starting. Basically everything that came up. Here's the celery. I didn't give it a whole lot because it has potting soil instead of seed starting mix, as it's medium, so already has some fertilizing properties within it. The onions did, however, get fertilized. They're looking amazing, I think. Apparently I can grow alliums pretty well. If I can grow them pretty well, it probably means they grow easily. Here's the rosemary. I think we have, 3 of those coming up? 4 of those coming up. One of them looks pretty goofy. You can see it's sideways. Again, that happened today. I don't know what happened. It's just all of a sudden did that. Here's our parsley, which we have just so much of everywhere else, but why not have more? For some reason, these guys are hanging down, but I'm hoping they'll pick themselves back up. I might even spin this around now. I've, of course, been moving these things all over the place to give them different angles at the light here. Sage, looking pretty good. Looking kind of leggy, but that might be kind of normal for sage. It's had a pretty decent spot under the light there. Here's that Marglobe tomato, the only tomato we have so far, because I need some more potting soil to do the other tomatoes that I have planned, and a bunch more basil too. I'm going to be doing some more of these 12 unit things of basil, tomatoes, and some mint. But there's our pepper that we have, or the only tomato we have for now. It's looking nice, looking pretty nice. It of course too gets moved all over the place because it's small and easy to do that. It can get better spots than it is, and it currently has right now. And then our California Wonder Bell peppers had another one of those pop up, so we're at 75% germination now. And there in the middle, back or front if you would, is our experiment so far. Here we have, from left to right, Nature's Edge, Sustainable Sprout, Serenaseed in Rebel Gardens. Jalapenos in the back, cayenne in the middle, habanero in the front. See, they are basically all growing the same rate, respectively, of their brands, but as they go, they all seem to be doing about the same. Although it does seem like the Serenaseed are still ahead, doesn't it? These are even getting, I would say, close to maybe when they get 2 sets of true leaves, and perhaps time to transplant them. Over here, we have the ones from March the 9th. Again, jalapenos in the back. And that's Nature's Edge, Sustainable Sprout, Serenaseed, Rebel Gardens. Again, the order. Cayenne in the middle. And habanero in the front. I think it's the same both times that the Sustainable Sprout habanero were furthest ahead, and the Serenaseeds jalapenos both times. I think Serenaseed has had maybe the best germination with the cayenne as well. I'm not positive on that. We'll have to look back to see. There's the newest ones from the 16th, and even they have begun to come up. See, maybe see a couple of those if your eye is trained enough. We got both of the Serenaseed in the third, both of the Serenaseed jalapenos, and both of the Serenaseed cayenne. We have both of the Rebel Garden jalapenos, and I think just one of the Nature's Edge and Sustainable Sprout. And I'm pretty sure that out of the cayenne and the habanero, only those 2 Sustainable Sprout have, only those 2 Serenaseeds have started. Serenaseed seems to have the best germination speed, and perhaps even germination rate. I'm pretty sure that they're the only one that had 100% germination rate in the first one. And I am going to be trimming out one of those of each. Once I do transplant them, only one's going to be coming out, because I do have so many other peppers. I'm going to try to, but of course I will be taking the best of them, and then it will only be 3, maybe 4 max. If I do one more of these, this would be the next week. If I was going to do a 4th for the experiment, it would be this week, today. And I may do that. I might have just enough seed starting mix to do that. And over here, our other potential Bonchi chilies. Have our fish on the right, started each a week apart from each other, just like those from the pepper brand experiment, and then the Ring of Fire on the left. And you would notice, yes, the Ring of Fire have not come up. The Ring of Fire are Rebel Garden brand, and you probably would have guessed, the fish are Serenaseed. Maybe that's why they're already up. Could also have a lot to do with the type they are. Fish may be, fish might just be faster than the Ring of Fire. Ring of Fire is a cayenne, type of cayenne. Fish is just another type of chili pepper. Yeah, they're looking pretty good. And finally, our big peppers. Got our tiny cayenne. You can see it's doing pretty well. I actually meant to leave the flowers on until after the video, even though I was going to pull them either way, just to show you how nicely it was going along. It had some flowering, and had one in the back here that was hiding, that was pretty big, getting pretty big. It was almost blooming, actually. The other one, I'm not too sure how long I'll keep holding off on plucking the flowers. This one still has its flowers. I didn't do it yet because I'm still contemplating on whether I'm just going to let it go now or not. I just let it do what it can, because I don't know how much bushier it's going to get. I'm hoping it can, maybe this stuff could even grow back toward this light I have here. That'd be nice. Kind of fill in this area here. We'll see. But again, as I said, this cayenne is stretching this one out, way out here. I thought maybe to grab this light here, but I don't know. This one's kind of getting along too. I'm also wondering if they're just kind of somehow know that there's these other ones in the pot and they're just growing away from them. But you can see the cayenne on here. Peppers are just looking lovely. Those two look like they may be, all three of these in fact look like they might be fully grown now, just waiting for them to ripen. I think they stopped growing, but we have a lot of other ones now, and they're actually growing on other branches now too, not just that one. And yeah, they're all over the place. It's almost all of the ones that, all the flowers now. It did have a lot of flower drop. Actually, the cayenne kind of stopped that. It hasn't been doing it so much, but it seems like it's not producing a whole lot more flowers here. I think it's, I'm wondering how much longer it'll be going, or whether when I start cutting, when I start harvesting these off, if it'll encourage a little more growth, maybe even somewhere else, and we'll see more flowering somewhere else for however long, because from what I read, I think peppers will go until they don't have the right climate, basically. So if you have them indoors, you can just grow them indefinitely, maybe until they just can't do it anymore for whatever reason. Like if you grow them perennially, apparently you have to put them through a dormancy period, which is what I'm going to be attempting with these guys. See if we can get 5 years out of them or something like that, just to, not because they're anything special other than that they're my first ones, but just to see how they do as sort of an experiment. You'll see I've been cutting back, and this seems to be natural as well. I'm not positive. Cutting back a lot of these lower leaves that are starting to kind of yellow. I've read that that's normal for houseplants, and I've also read that that's apparently just normal for peppers as well, to come by and trim off leaves that kind of look like that. This one's probably getting to the point where I would do it, but it's still a pretty low one there. You can see has some room still. They start looking a little goofy, I think, once they lose all those bottom leaves, but I guess as long as they're producing fruit, that's what you really care about. And when it comes down to it, if we do this perennially, I mean, if we're going to keep these, I guess we end up, chopping the whole thing basically off anyway. We leave a little bit of a few nodes for growth next year, but basically it gets chopped back completely. So really it doesn't matter if we get rid of the leaves, they'll be gone anyway. In fact, whenever I see people winterizing their peppers, I think they do usually have all these leaves gone by that point in there, unless they have some suckers like this one, where then you may keep the sucker, you may do whatever. Usually suckers have gotten a little bigger than that, but we'll see. Maybe that one will grow a little more. Yeah, but these two jalapeno then, they're starting to fruit really nicely, I think. I mean, those two grew relatively quickly. I think actually you couldn't really even see them last week. Has flowers all over. These branches are branchy, very branchy branches. This leaf curl seems to have gotten a little better. I'm wondering if they were a bit close to these lights. I've kind of spread them out and put them up a little more, trying to help out. Yeah, you can see there's some other jalapenos started on there, and then of course our lovely large jalapeno. I think these may still be growing, these jalapenos. They're not quite full size yet, that one and those two in the back. Some other ones that are almost seem like they're catching up, huh? We'll see. I like this guy here. I don't know what's up with that, but as long as he's growing, I'll see what happens. Can you at least use them for seeds if nothing else, right? But yeah, I'm really looking forward to these peppers. And of course, we should be good having peppers throughout the season and beyond. My goal would be actually to be able to have peppers throughout the season, and not only maybe peppers, because I want to make things like jalapeno powder, like powdered, I mean for really anything, I guess, sauce, whatever hot sauce, but like the powder would be for potato chips. I'd also like to keep some potatoes going quite often as well, year round if I could. It just takes, I think, having the setup for it. I have the space. It would just take the setup. So, but anyway, yeah, that is the end of this week's garden vlog. I hope you enjoyed. Everything is looking decent, as good as I could expect it to be, being that this is my first time. Anyway, I will see you next week for the next garden vlog. God bless.